Hello and welcome to Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber, a movie review podcast partnered with a secret organization of fighters, martial artists, all-girl MMA fighters, even Ronda Rousey. I know she's doing movies now, but she still counts. All band together to fight evil for the good of mankind. For first-time listeners, we partnered with our honorary shadows, Alex, Con, and Nikonsi, who began their movie review podcast and coincidentally named it the same as our organization. So we took them on and allowed them to record their podcast here at the Secret Chamber. My name, of course, is Basil, retired general of the Assassination Corps for the Hidden Shadows, now your host. You always nail that intro. Oh, thanks, mate. I always try to add a little spice to it, keep it fresh. No, yeah, I hear it. So I think we're about ready for the summoning. Everything's here. My mana is centered. I lit some beach-scented candles. Oh, right. To kick off the first episode of October Shadows, we thought we'd summon a shadow from the afterworld and get him to say a few words before the episode. Okay, I'm gonna fire it up. Just gonna take my burrito out of the microwave here. Okay, ready, Jaime. Ooh, can I get half of that? Thanks. Okay, here we go. Alright, I've got it leveled now and... Oh, for fuck's sake! Where did the wall go? Jaime? Basil? Was that you, lads? Callum, how have you been? How's the afterlife? Oh, it's fine. Just fine. I was just about to mount my flat screen in my new condo. Yeah, I see that, Callum. Sorry about that. Here's your other dimensional wall mount. There's flat screens in the afterlife? Yes, lad. They just rolled out 100k over here. What? We only have 4K over here. What's 100K like? Oh, you just go there in person. Oh. Anyway, Callum, so good to see you, mate. We hope you don't mind. Jaime summoned you over here to do a quick interview for the 1st of October episode of the podcast. Getting into the whole Halloween vibes and all that. Oh, sounds good. What would you like to know? Well, you were a general for the Hidden Shadows. What would you say was your most famous battle? That's a good question. I would have to say it was when we fought those shamans that were summoning wraiths about 400 years ago. Being the only cleric at that time, the battle was a real chancer. And is that how you died, Callum? No, food poisoning. Bad burrito. Oh, I'm good on that half of the burrito, Basil. Yeah, I'll just throw this out too. Oh, I'll eat it, lads. Well, do you miss being alive? No, not really. I feel like I've accomplished what I needed to accomplish in the Hidden Shadows. Plus, 100k, remember? Yeah, that's a good point. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we send you back, Callum? Oh, sure. Make sure you die doing the thing you love. Well, in my case, you know. Well, take care, Callum. You were one of the greatest. And still I love that guy. Yeah, he was hilarious. Right? Oh, Basil. I think you forgot his wall mount. Oh, bugger. Oh well. Who knew they still had TVs in the afterlife? I know, super weird. Yeah. No, that's good. That's smart.
All of this is leading into our podcast, which hello and welcome. That's whale, as in spooky. and then come
Welcome.
as in spooky ectoplasm.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. I get it. That's good.
Yeah.
It's the first Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber of October, guys. My name is Alex.
And my name is Khan. And Nakansi's unfortunately not here. But we can feel his spooky ectoplasm all over
feel
the
it.
place.
It's mushier and thicker than usual. So I don't know what's going. Is he getting enough sleep?
I think he's been taking zinc pills too. I heard that.
Oh,
helps.
okay, so he might. Yeah. So it's healthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good for you. Good for you and your ectoplasm, Nikonsi. Good job.
Alex is fucking 30. Aren't you like 33?
I'm 32, sir.
You're 32.
Don't you?
I'm 25, and we're still making just terrible dick jokes. Which, by the way, South Park has a goddamn like just they've been making a career out of it. It's brilliant. You know what else has been
of dick jokes?
Yeah, you know what else made a lot of dick jokes as expected?
What's that?
This freaking movie.
Ooh, did I miss those?
They weren't said so much as they were implied because of the fact that Studio Trigger does a lot of like so let's back that ass up, rewind. What did we watch for the first episode of October, which is going to be just jam-packed with literally too much content? You better go out and watch some of it yourself.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff coming up. So we are reviewing today the movie Promare or Promare.
He threw some fucking accent on that. Say it again for the people in the back.
Promare. And it, yes, sir. So that movie is actually by the makers of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill.
Yeah, and I mean, here's a couple other ones that people may not have immediately known. Kisniver, Space Patrol Luluco. They also did Little Witch Academia, Darling in the France, and Quad S Gridman, because I'm not going to say S 4 times. But the point being that they Studio Trigger does a lot of good fucking good shit. I'd say good like a billion times, but I won't say S 4 times. We're at 3 S's right now. Just kidding. Wait, that was the fourth one. I gotcha. But yeah, they do like a lot of good stuff. They have a lot of extra work in a lot of different places you wouldn't be expecting. Like I believe that they had a couple of animation production assistants on stuff like Steven Universe, OK KO, Let's Be Heroes. But the point that we're getting to is that we are, like, I myself am personally a huge Studio Trigger fan. Alex himself is very aware of like many Studio Trigger projects.
So dane.
And is a big fucking weeaboo.
Hi.
Another thing that I was getting to is Promare was insane.
Yes. I mean, dude, it just goes to show like it was so stylistically them. You know what I mean?
It really was. Like, how long was the movie? I want to say it was an hour and a half.
Let's see here. I'm gonna click on this. And then I'm gonna click out of that because that doesn't tell me what I want to know. And why is this so hard to find?
And that is some Gurren Lagann porn, and that's some SS Gridman porn, and
so it's almost an hour and it's almost 2 hours. It's an hour and 51 minutes. Very well paced, and I feel like there was never a dull moment, but like not in a bad way, not in a, over actiony, not very plot driven type movie. In this case, as you very well know, with Studio Trigger, you're not only going to get the amazing action, you're going to get a pretty cool plot.
I want to say, though, that, I mean, we've watched a lot of movies, as we are a movie review podcast. We've also just watched a lot of anime, and there's a lot of anime movies. The point that I'm getting to is that this movie is, I mean, it was insane, and I think that if you even if you aren't a huge Studio Trigger fan, that you can still enjoy this movie. You can still appreciate just so many aspects of this movie. Visually, their choices, like their stylistic choices for how do they show like a ice blast or a fire blast and stuff.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yes.
Going for the like more digital shapes for the blasts really pushes the like style of the entire film. Actually, like it really helps show you what they're going for. It's a very different but similar Studio Trigger moment, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't the clunky like digitized look. It still had that very raw, almost as if it was sketched by hand look. I mean, it's digitized, but it still looked really good.
And there was just so many other moments throughout the film, like literally the entire soundtrack. Unfortunately, Alex didn't get to see it with me, but Myron could, like, I feel like Suki and Chibi and Myron could all feel my energy stemming from 4 seats away from them.
Well, this is why we're brothers, because Patty's like maybe 15, 20 minutes into the movie, and she taps me on the shoulder and she's like, "You're going to download this soundtrack, aren't you?" I was like, "God damn it. Yes. Yes, I am."
God, that soundtrack was fire! Which is funny so because the movie was also all about fire!
And also, it's funny because I was cooking earlier and my kitchen's now on fire! So, but we'll deal with that after the pod.
And like Myron also, after watching the movie, bought some fire habanero potato chips.
That's so funny because I'm having flaming. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give some of the impressions that I had with this movie, Promare. So at first, I was a little upset because I thought this was going to be a knockoff of the Fire Force.
Wow.
Plot.
Not even giving Studio Trigger a little bit of freaking leniency. You're already like, they're firefighters in anime?
Yeah, right? What? That's never been done. Just like Samurais has never been done. So I had to kind of like put myself in that mindset. I'm like, okay, there's plenty of like robot tech and chi blast and spirit energy. You know what I mean? It's just a genre. So,
right. That's why I was like, if you were there, I would have been like, firefighters, yo, and then I can already see your face just you're like, firefighters, but I like fire force. Hipster glasses.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm so hipster and steampunk. Sometimes it's obnoxious. But no. The plot definitely veered off in a very cool direction.
In a very Studio Trigger direction as well.
Right.
That was so fun.
What were some of your impressions, bruh?
Immediately upon entering the theater, my impression was unfortunately not related to the movie. There were a lot of freaking cute girls at our theater. And I was just like, it's pretty quiet in there. I hope nobody's going to be upset with me getting hyped as fuck. And then I sat down, and there was already a bumping track playing. It was like the first fight scene between Leo and Gallo. And immediately, I was just like, as high on the volume, like as many decibels as I can get, but still be considered a hushed whisper. I was just going, yeah, and these girls behind me were like giggling about it because I was obviously hyped as fuck.
Dude, I don't blame you, man.
I was just like, anime movie in theaters.
Weebing out. I wish you were in my theater because there were some girls that I think you would have found cute to the right of us that were like on your level. They were just like kind of stomping their feet and clapping and getting like all fangirl excited, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, why isn't Junior here? I need to introduce them.
more
So
along
it was
the lines of just like ladies of Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber. Please don't hate me.
Please don't stop listening to our podcast. So it was cool. Like, the plot was really fun, right? I liked the whole concept of like the Burnish, right? The Burnish being just these people who suddenly
Spoilers
got.
I don't know. I'm not sure how far your spoiler was gonna go, because I thought that was an important twist. But the Burnish are people with fire powers.
Yeah, they essentially got a mutation that allow them to
control fire.
Control fire, and there was a war between the normies, the non-firebenders, and the firebenders.
Which in this case, the Fire Nation in this case is more like the Air Nation. They really were just trying to figure out how to live.
Yeah, they just trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to like dial a phone number on my phone,
and then my phone
is exploding. Yep.
But
I'm just trying to make some pizzas with my cool fire, and normies over here trying to like kill my vibes.
So. This is technically a spoiler, and I'm not gonna, I'm sure that you'll allow this spoiler, and if not, you can do some editing. But one of my favorite moments is the Chekhov's gun, which I've been telling you to keep an eye out for. That specific kind of, it's a very simple film technique, but it's also
Let's see if I caught it.
It's a very simple film technique. The Chekhov's gun is basically you do not present something that you won't use later.
Okay.
Right? Like some sort of mechanic that you're going to use later. In this case, what's the firefighting suit called?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm just going to call it the firefighting suit.
Yeah, I can't remember it right now, but basically the first suit of armor that Gallo uses does show up later on in the movie. But more importantly for Chekhov's gun, like memories, is when I can't remember her name. It's like Themsis or something, or Timesis, and she dies. And they show like how the Burnish turned to ash.
Oh, right.
Yes. And he tried to revive her by giving her the mouth to mouth. But it was kind of like, and in typical Studio Trigger fashion, they kind of made it like a little sexual, and it's like that was a very, very like warm embrace kiss. And then they showed it at the very end with Gallo and Leo, and I was immediately just, yeah, flaming firefighters. It was so funny. It was so good.
It was cool because, like, yeah, you know what, dude? Like, I can feel my audience, like, all of their assholes tighten up because it went dead quiet in the entire theater. Like, you could, you know what I mean?
It's funny because we
hear
can
a pin
both,
drop.
Right? We both had that same thing happen, but it depends on the person who receives the information, kind of deal. Like, I felt like in our audience, like, a lot of the girls were like, oh, they showed the big gay on the big screen. Oh, but like I can imagine like a lot of dudes in the audience who were just like, what?
Just very uncomfortable. But like, maybe, right? I mean, it is just kind of like, it's not something that we're used to seeing, and we're not desensitized to it yet. So I think, you can I think it was open to interpretation, obviously, right? Either they're making a statement like, hey, gay is okay, or hey, he's a firefighter and he's just doing mouth to mouth and this is his job and that's just what Gallo is. He is committed. That's his character. He's committed to saving the world by whatever means, and he's loyal to those around him, no matter what.
Right.
So,
like, the thing that I'm just saying is that, like, fangirls got their moment. I got the fangirl right there too.
it was fun. It was cool. I'm happy they did it.
It was
honestly, I'm happy they did it.
Yeah, it was just, this movie in general was just so much fun all over the place.
Let's get into some badass moments, sir. If you'd like, I can kick it off.
Damn. Kick it. Oh wait, wrong song.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, my badass moment is the first 5 minutes of the movie. I liked how they introduced the Burnish epidemic and just how frightening it was and how devastating it was to society. You know what I mean? Like how when people suddenly got this mutation, how out of control and rampant it was. And you were really sucked in. Not only that, the music was incredible. Like
the whole time.
Like during that scene particularly,
the whole time.
It was very the whole time, Junior. Okay,
but yes,
but I loved the drums, like how they were like pulling you out. It was just kind of like tribal war drums, right? So it was very, very deliberate.
Right. It's good that you paid it, like you could feel that level of it from it though, is what I was trying to say, is that it's just it's one of those moments where even if people think that it is cheesy, and I will like admit that there are some cheesy moments in the movie, but
oh yes,
the thing is that in my opinion at least, everything is done so well. This is one of those prime moments of you have a piece of art where everything comes together for you to feel like in that moment.
Yeah.
And you should be feeling like, no matter who you are, like that scene was like, you feel the urgency. You can hear the urgency in the voice actors, like in their line delivery. Flattering. And you visually, you are just drawn to everything that's going on the screen. Like there's just so much insane shit on the screen. Beautiful.
It was dude, and I love what you said. This piece of art, this work of art, was put together to make you feel. I think that was fucking right on the money.
But like that's one of the beautiful things about us having our own podcast, really, is just we like to talk about these things. We hope that our audience enjoys hearing us and potentially will talk to us through various direct messages and whatnot, emails, etc. That like we love gushing about fangasming about like there's so much cool shit.
Not only that, like, I mean, hopefully, listening to this, like you guys can maybe look out for those kinds of things, and just again, like whoever, all you people have been, we'll do that at the end. What badass moment do you have for us?
Oh God, I'm not gonna lie. The movie is almost 2 hours, right? An hour 51 minutes.
Yes.
I think Suki was kind of annoyed that I was just fangirling so hard, but I started 3 claps in the theater on purpose because I was just so hyped. I was like, yeah,
That's great.
And one of those moments was in proper Gurren Lagann Studio Trigger biggest dickus momentous was when they showed Deus Ex Machina. The original, like the regular Deus Ex Machina, not enhanced by Burnish power yet, right? When they showed that, I was just like, yeah! Like, I started clapping.
There was some
and
freaking,
just,
like, I could tell. There was some freaking, like, Easter eggs in there, dude. It was really cool.
And speaking of big dick moments, like, this is the thing that Studio Trigger does. If you literally look through all of the anime we talked about earlier, like, there's going to be a moment where they just know what kind of fan service to put out there. And some of them tend to be dick jokes. And Deus Ex Machina was kind of a dick joke. Of like, look at this. Look at this big machine. Another badass moment, which is also another kind of dick joke.
Yeah.
In this way of like he was blowing his fucking load a little early, was when they showed the gun. Do you not remember that?
Which gun?
When they showed the one they showed it's not necessarily a big spoiler, but like Cray in his like tower firing a super big gun to send out his mech.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was kind of hard to describe right now without literally looking at that scene. Because like there's just so much cool shit, and I was so hyped the whole time. Like my brain is just not remembering those specific details. It's just like you were feeling so high without having smoked. That was a good ass movie. But yes,
you're doing pretty good at remembering these details. A little like you're jogging my memory, so I'm just like,
right,
yeah,
right. Like it like somehow formed a gun and then fired his mech, and I was just like, that's a Studio Trigger dick moment. Like
100%.
That's hilarious. Because just as a quick throwback for like Studio Trigger having like these kind of goofy like phallus moments, right?
Yeah.
God, what is the name of it right now? Darling in the Franxx, like is Darling in the Franxx for like they kind of put in these like semi-sexual things all the time, and it's just kind of like on one hand it normalizes it because it is really normal, and on the other it's like they put teenagers in the awkward sexual moments.
Yeah, that character is like largely sexualized too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so in Darling in the Franxx, in order to pilot the mechs, you need two people. And generally, it's like the girls on the bottom and the guys at the top. And then other, like you need two people to pilot these mechs. And that's what I mean by, like, these, like, subtle things that are sexual are weird and hilarious. And they're just in there. And in this case, for Promare, it's like, we are Leo de Galon. And I was just like,
yeah, 100%.
They're flaming. they're
flaming together.
Flaming.
Oh, so great, dude. Yeah. They love to put that kind of stuff in there. What's the number rating that you would give it, sir?
I still think that I would rewatch this movie several times over, so I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh, that's so funny because I would give it a motherfucking 9, bruh.
Oh, that's so funny because Myron would not give it a 9. I think he was.
Yeah, Myron. It sounds like he wasn't a big fan of it, huh?
I mean,
was he or no?
I mean, he was a fan because he was having fun, but I don't think for Nikansi it has the same kind of hilarious rewatch value that I have for it. You see, like, you see,
Good beatbox there. No, I think that's exactly why I'd give it a 9, because I'd go back and watch it, because I'd want to go find... See, when I watch a movie and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I feel like there's stuff that I could still find the second watch and the third watch around, like that's when I'm like, all right, this was a dope movie, and I want to go back and watch it and digest it again so I can fully understand it on another level. So I agree with your number rating.
Yes, because another thing that comes up with this in this particular instance is that, like, I think that the plot was deep enough, and then being in an artsy way, like the artsy way of like looking at this is a very specific, weird, like, geopolitical kind of deal, right? Like look at Final Fantasy VII, which came out in like 1997 or something right now, right? Like, I can't remember exactly, but the point being that is like 20 some odd years old, and it has so much relevance still today with just corporations are ruining the planet.
Yeah. Well, what about like in this one? Like in this one, the philosophical question is like, okay, the world is in a dilemma and we need to solve this problem. And what is the easiest thing to do as a big government or power when you can't find the answer easily? Oh, I know. Find a scapegoat, aka the Burnish.
Well, I wouldn't even say like that was one of the threads that I was thinking of when I was watching it. One of the threads that I was thinking of was like more along the lines of the if you have that much fucking money that you become governor, right? Like this guy became governor, right?
Governor Cray.
He legitimately was just like, if the world is going to be destroyed, why look for a solution to fix the world when we can just leave? And that's what a lot of things are going on right now in our own world, is literally just, why would we do renewable energy when I can still use all of the non-renewable energy until I can fund my own get the fuck out of here and leave?
Yeah.
Which is completely different from people wanting to explore space and potentially living on other planets. You know, like that's more of an exploration deal. This is literally just like, and I'm done with this bitch, I'm gonna move on to the next.
I'ma go. And I think that like that's what the fuel or the driving force behind Cray's motives was, and it was to make the Burnish seem like terrorists, and Leo was the way we viewed them at the beginning of the movie, especially in the fight between Leo and Gallo.
High key, before you get into that, as a Studio Trigger fan, I did not expect. I was like, they gave this guy a name. He ain't gonna be just some punk ass evil guy. He's already on screen.
Sure. As a Studio Trigger fan and knowing how they write movies, it's pretty blatant. But like maybe to some people who are not as familiar, as an audience member, you would be like, yeah, these guys are so obviously bad. I mean, look at their costumes,
right?
Their armor.
Look at these guys. These are, yeah, they're being portrayed as terrorists, and I get it. They're burning things and destroying people's houses.
Yeah. But it was deeper than that. Things weren't as they appeared on the surface. And that's why I liked Gallo's character, because like just in that first scene, his fighting style already, you could see how flexible of a fighter he was. That very well correlated into the character that he was. He was a flexible thinker, and he was able to understand.
Yeah, aggressive,
okay,
but
right?
flexible. willing to like look at a lot of those options. And it just
in a very holistic way.
And it's just, I really like the character arcs they threw us for, and I wasn't expecting to have such well done complete character arcs in a 2-hour movie.
It's something that is very rare in. No, yeah, you're right. You make such a good point, because it's something that's so rare in today's movies
in general. Not just
general.
like,
but especially today.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why this movie is such a 9 out of 10. I don't have any what the fuck moments, because we already discussed the mouth to mouth at the end.
Was that your what the fuck moment? By the way, because like, I mean, I feel like I kind of stole it, and I wanted to talk about it earlier because it was on my mind.
No, that's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at it. I'm glad we talked about it. I think we had a really good discussion about it.
For a hilarious actual what the fuck moment, I think that this joke of a scene that involves one of the bad guys, like, you just have to go watch it. You know the scene I'm talking about without talking about it?
The scene
that near the end with Vulcan.
The bad guys. I'm trying to remember. Near the end.
With Vulcan.
I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think Vulcan is his name.
Vulcan.
He's like the primary bad guy that works under...
Yeah. I remember.
There you go.
Yeah. The thing with his suit. Yeah. I totally remember.
You guys are going to love that. That was a good joke. I think for another minor what the fuck moment, and this is more of a personal thing, is they made Gallo into like the like, yeah, I have no idea that you're into me, Ina. Like, that's, that's okay. Maybe I'm a little Takei, because it's okay to be Takei. And then he kisses Leo later.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then she was just like, oh, okay, got it. That's why none of my advances were. I'm stupid.
As a bad joke that keeps on telling itself that we're telling at the same time. Do you think this particular movie tends to lend itself to the poor portrayal of gay firemen?
Yeah,
that's a stereotype, huh?
They're stereotyping, bro. Damn, that's messed up. I'm sorry, firemen. They're such an impressed group too. I think that does it for this pod today, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for kicking off October with so many listens already. We're happy that we're reaching you guys, and you've obviously been telling your friends. And make sure that if you're not already, you can find us on Instagram at HSTSC33, also on Twitter, also on Facebook at Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber. Go support our other podcast, the Sidetrack Podcast, and if you're a Spanish speaker, Desviado. And Junior, why don't you do your beautiful plug?
I don't know if it's a beautiful plug, and all I can think of is say sidetrack again in Spanish.
Sidetracked? Desviado?
Dang, that's a weird word. All right, do it again in English.
Sidetracked
in Spanish.
Or speak Desviado.
In Spanish.
Desviado.
In English.
Sidetracked. I can take directions, guys.
More importantly.
Oh, just kidding.
Just kidding. It's as important as the rest of these plugs. Please go hang out at twitch.tv Cookie Ninja Carve. You can probably, when you join, insert a command like !Discord into the chat, and then you can join my Discord where I will be chilling and playing games. I just recently beat Code Vein. Easy recommendation. I might write up a review for it later. Who knows? Who knows? Dogs are loud.
Who knows?
You knows. Who knows?
I hear all the dogs. Do you hear the dogs?
Can you hear the dogs?
Are they in our...
Is this how we're
They're
leaving?
in our brain.
Is this how we're leaving the podcast? Any second now?
I think we're leaving.
Is it?
Any second now. I'm stopping it.
Really?
Stop.